Esper Amulet deck. What on God's green earth does this deck do? So this deck is interested in deploying the card Primal Amulet and then looping through the deck very quickly until you eventually get down to just Nexuses of Fates in your deck. And you take infinite turns by doubling up your Nexus of Fates with Primal Amulet. And then eventually we have one copy of Chromium the Mutable, which we can get back with Memorial to Folly to kill our opponent eventually if they don't concede. So you draw a bunch of cards with cards like Revitalize and Ritual of Rejuvenation, Anticipate, and Radical Ideas. You just cycle through your deck and you have some sweepers. And you just draw a bunch of cards. This deck's very good against mid-range decks in the format. It can kind of struggle against some of the more controlling decks, but it's a lot of fun. As someone who, as a connoisseur of drawing Magic the Gathering cards, I enjoy this deck a lot. There is no Teferi in this deck. Yeah, Watsy's gonna sponsor the meme segment today. Yeah, Arena went up on the bounty board again, so I'm gonna tick on the Arena bounty board ticker here in half a second. So most of the hands in this deck, it's just like, well, we keep them because they could be anything, right? Like this card draws cards, this card draws cards, this card, like they all filter. So, you know, that's a card we don't want to see till much later. No, Artifact is not in the bounty board. In fact, Valve has basically been doing zero advertising for their game. They're just throwing money at tournaments and then that's it. To protect from enemy settle. That's funny. Not surprised to see Search eat it there. That's true. We could bin Chromium with Radical Idea. You're not wrong. That being said, it's kind of dangerous to bin Chromium if they're playing a Blood Operative deck. I haven't started the sponsored ticker yet. So when I start the ticker, it goes on automatically. War Blazer, thank you for the 10-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome. I'm waiting to see if we can get close to the peak before I start it. If not, 1400 is pretty good. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Hope you're having a great Tuesday. Hope you're getting ready for a good holiday here in the United States. I think Radical Idea is actually better here. Like, it's very possible that this matchup's really bad for us game one. Usually how you win the control mirrors with this deck is you end step Nexus of Fate and then like untap and do some stuff and like have a couple of must counter plays in a row. Although I also suppose that like having Chromium in the opener is pretty good here too. About 1500 Warblazer. Having this is actually one of the matchups where like having fast Chromium isn't a terrible thing. Looks like they're playing an Esper deck as well. I think I'm just gonna go to my turn here. At this point, I just want to like hit all my land drops, I think. Tilt. So they get to take our Chromium here. I wonder how many actual counter spells are in their deck. I wonder if I'm supposed to just be jamming this Primal Amulet because they have all these Thought Erasures. It's very possible their hand is just like full of not counter spells. I might do that next turn. Just jam this amulet down their throat. Now, I use Linux as my daily driver. I use it for streaming because it's my daily driver. All right, so because I drew a second amulet and I'm on 7 lands, so I'm actually going to wait 1 turn to play it out. So that way I can go amulet into amulet next turn. Yeah, that's the thing. People keep talking about Teferi. This deck can't protect Teferi. Yes, that's correct, Tider. So if you have multiple copies of a card in your hand and one's revealed and one's not, it plays the one that they know about. If they counter both of these, I might just move along. Correct, unless they have different artworks. Magic Arena treats different artworks as different cards. Alright, well, their hand was very good for the control mirror. Yeah, I'm running Magic Arena on Wine on an Ubuntu 1804 system. Alright, so post-board, we get a lot better in this matchup. We get to cut a bunch of our silly life gain things and bring in a bunch of ways to, like, interact with their planeswalkers and stuff. Actually just run them down. Need to cut 2 more cards here. when the board gives it, like I said, our matchup against aggressive things and mid-range decks is very good, so we board a lot in the control matchup because it's a very hard matchup for us. I think I probably just want to trim 2 cantrips. Discovery is probably our worst cantrip. It does, yeah, the last patch added that. I don't know that I have a really educated opinion on Artifact yet. I haven't played it enough, I don't think. I would love to play first here. That sounds fine. Like, has Primal Amulet in it, has the Primal Tide. And again, just like any hands with like lands and spells in it is like pretty reasonable because like your spells find you more stuff. So even if your opening hand isn't ideal, your later hand to be. The scariest card out of the opponent that we're hoping to dodge is Thief of Sanity. Thief of Sanity is a card that could run away with the game very quickly. We don't have a good way to remove early creatures. This deck is interested in fading early damage by just like gaining health as opposed to like actually removing things from play. Yes, turn 3 card liberated. That's an interesting idea, Digital Drummer. Just like board in extra threats. Like we are boarding in extra threats, but rather than going all in on counterspell, just like boarding cards that actually kill them. That actually seems like a really good idea. Maybe we'll try that after this. I don't know that we're not guaranteed to like hit more control matchups, but I like the idea of what that's doing. We definitely have a lot of like that card's very resistant because we don't have enough black mana to play Thief of Sanity ourselves because black's like a very small splash to play Chromium eventually. But I like the idea of Adanto Vanguard a lot. Varvite, thank you for the 11-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed here. I think I'm gonna go ahead and cycle through a land here. I've got enough of those at this point. Yeah, exactly. It's like a control deck sliding in Legion War Boss. That's exactly the same. All right, I was really fortunate and found one of my 3 answers to this Thief of Sanity. Holy crap, we just got Spell Pierced. All right, I'm done. Let's find us an aggro or mid-range deck to beat up on. Wow, Spell Pierce out of Esper control. That's a tilt. I was like, they only have 1 mana up. We should be good. Like, Esper doesn't usually play Dive Down. Yeah, Spell Pierce isn't a card control decks usually play because cards like that have pretty severe diminishing returns as the game goes later, basically. All right. I like the idea of just boarding in a bunch of threats to try and kill them. Let's try that. Yeah, I really like dive down. Like Adrian Sullivan's blue-red deck had a bunch of dive downs in it that won the Grand Prix, right? I like that technology a lot. Like you have a good threat and just protect it and ride it to victory. Poured it into a tempo deck, yeah, basically. So Sullivan's list is different though, right? Like Sullivan's list has more threats. Like they have a bunch of nivs in the main even, which is a big deal. It was Jeskai. Yeah, it was Jeskai, correct? If I said blue-red, I meant Jeskai. Jeskai includes blue-red. Blue-red with another color, right? Sure. Like I said, lands and spells, pretty much a keep. Our cards just want to draw more cards. Might be a matchup where Adanto Vanguard is good again. It's gonna be rough. Enter turn on arena. I'm just not used to pressing enter. It's just like outside of my workflow, so I often don't do it. I often just click. I really wish you could rebind the hotkeys in arena. That's one of the features that I would really like to see added. No, you cannot rebind the hotkeys, unfortunately. They're just static. They are what they are. Go ahead and bin both of these here. Just like looking for an amulet at this point, basically. Did they add the ability to change the hotkeys? No, you can't change the hotkeys here. The hotkeys exist, but you cannot change them. No, I've tried. Really want to hit Amulet here because they're tapped out. And a chance to resolve it under a counterspell. Yeah, I could rebind it at the operating system level, that's true. But then, like, I have to toggle it on when I'm playing Arena, and, like, that's gonna cause other issues outside of it. So, like, my normal hotkeys in Magic Online are Q and F for next turn and stuff, so, like... When you grow up, you want to be like me. Uh-oh, that's terrifying to think about. Well, that's a lot of lands. Goodbye, friends. Alrighty. Yay! Modal cards. Yay! Modal cards. Modal cards are great, chat. Modal cards are great. Honestly, that's like people often have been asking what makes this standard format so good. And one of the answers is modal cards make this format fantastic. Cards that just do multiple things, so they have flexibility in a lot of different situations. Fake news just got fact-checked. Lol. Hey, versatile cleansing nova, wipe opponent's board. Thank you, Coots. Man, where are my amulets at, chat? They probably can't kill that card, right? This probably just like takes them and dumpsters them. Eldest, that's true. And if they have Eldest, I can pick it back up using Memorial to Folly, right? Believe it or not, this deck is incredibly consistent because it sees a lot of cards every game. Do I play the Amulet? They probably have a Sabotage, right? So I'm gonna pass here and see if we can get them inside of combat with the Chromium. Because they might attack with the Nicobolas here. Tilt.
Boundless power.
Boundless power.
I always have an answer.
Oh, settle. That's fair. Look at him. Look, he's a dragon. I love the animations in this game. They're so well done. They're neat and look good, but are fast. And with the last update, they made them even quicker, which is nice.
You may be of some use to me.
Oh, I could have Dispersal. Oh, I can still Dispersal, right? Because this costs less. All right, so they should be 7 lower. Dispersal is better there. Yeah, so I missed 7 points of damage, but it's still right to Dispersal them. And this is actually a good example, a good teachable moment. Don't double down on a mistake just because you made a mistake to begin with. So I'm not gonna not Dispersal because I messed up. I need to Dispersal them. Sure. All right, we have a chance to combo here. We need to find a Nexus of Fate, but we haven't passed one of those yet, and we put a bunch of cards at the bottom of my deck with like Anticipate and stuff. Perfect. Okay, so we radical idea. No, I want a Discovery. Yeah, I'm gonna Discovery. I'm looking for another Primal Amulet. It's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna take that. And then I can Radical Idea here, which will flip this over, which will then let me Nexus of Fate twice. This is when this is our combo. So we get to Nexus of Fate using the Primal Wellspring, and the Primal Wellspring is gonna let us copy this. So now I have 2 extra turns. Yep, the Radical Ideas are to the right because I could jumpstart them. That is exactly correct. So I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna Radical Idea, ditch the Ritual of Rejuvenation. This will copy. So we'll draw 2 cards here. Yeah, I have a second copy of Memorial to Folly Max. So people wondering, but Jeff said he only has 1 Chromium. How does he win the game now that it's dead? I have a second copy of Memorial to Folly in my deck. And remember, I have 1 more turn in the bank here. So next turn, I'm gonna get to untap here and take another turn in a second. And then if we can find another copy of Nexus of Fate, this Nexus of Fate next turn is gonna let us take 3 turns. Because we're gonna put both Primal Wellsprings into it. Yeah, I wanna upkeep Nexus so I give myself the best possible chance to draw it. So, and now there's only 13 cards in my deck. So during my upkeep, I'm gonna go ahead and do this. which then lets this get copied twice. Wellspring is not legendary, correct. So now we have 3 turns in the bank. Yes, when you're taking 100% of the turns, you're having 100% of the fun. This deck, and so we do this during our upkeep, so that way we can have a better chance to redraw Nexus for our turn. So I'm gonna play this, I'm gonna play Search for Azcanta, and again, we wanna get down to a point where there's just Nexuses in our deck, so that way we can pick our Chromium back up and just take infinite turns. Look at that, there's a Nexus of Fate. So during, I would like to put that on top, I would like to transform this. So I have a bunch of extra turns waiting, and let's take a couple more turns here now. So now I have like 6 extra turns in the bank. And then I'm gonna pick my Chromium back up here with my Memorial to Folly, and then eventually we will kill them with the Chromium. So we take infinite turns with the Primal Amulets and the Nexus of Fates, and then we kill them with those. It's good. Good, clean living. Alright, so we get to bring in Excellence Binding. I'm gonna bring in the Adanto Vanguards to beat them down. Wanna play another Chromium. This needs a storm counter for turns, right? If you think this deck is sweet, it is. You should be sure to check out my website later today after we're done, jeffhoagland.com. I have a ton of awesome standard decks up there that are a lot of fun, just like this one. If they exile your threat, you lose the game. Don't let them exile your threat. I didn't know if you noticed, but they fixed the turn counter so you see the updated turn stack up. Oh, that's awesome, Goons. Yeah, so we're going to board in the Adanto Vanguards to try and get under them. I'm going to bring in Negates and Disdainful Strokes, as well as these Excellent Bindings. I don't think I want Spyglass. I think this is just... Oh, this name's Field of Ruin. Naming Field of Ruin is good with this deck. Stopping Field of Ruin is ideal. Something the way Garfield did. Hey, Richard Garfield helped design Dominaria, so this basically is Magic as Richard Garfield intended it to be played, okay? Chromium's just incredibly resilient. It's hard for it to die. This hand's actually, my opponent put me on the play. So this hand's actually keepable because Discovery can be cast off of black mana. God bless. Oh no! Oh no! What's the upper limit? We're looking ideally for an average of 1,500 viewers for the hour that is sponsored, Mr. Lifeguard. So we're actually over, which is awesome. I've actually never hit the 100% on the viewer count before, so that'd be sweet to do that today. Oh, they took the stroke. God bless you. Looking for blue lands. Looking for blue lands. We're gonna bin him. I have an extra one of him in my deck now. Thanks, JJ. Is it ever correct in standard to choose beyond the draw? I don't think so. This actually is not an alley creation. I actually like this deck better than the 5-color Lich deck, though. I think the axis that the angle that this deck is attacking from is less susceptible to interaction than what the Lich deck is doing. Yes, correct. Sponsored to play what I play anyways. It's a good day. Wizards of the Coast. This segment is sponsored by Wizards of the Coast through the Twitch bounty board. God bless the Twitch bounty board. We're running Memorials so we can pick Chromium back up out of our discard pile. I think I just want to hit land drops here, right? If I end up having too many lands, I can bin them to Radical Idea. Try and dig for our second Disdainful Stroke here. Nope. Ooh, this is why they took the stroke earlier. Looking for Excellence Binding now. I'm gonna bin a basic island here. Not looking for Nexus yet. Would love an Excellence Binding. Oh, geez, that's a state-based. So if I bin the Nexus, I shuffle the top card of my deck. Awkward. I knew that. I knew that. I knew that. I knew that was how that was gonna work. So if you go back and watch the previous iterations of this deck on my website, my YouTube channel, we've played Mastermind's Acquisition before, and it felt just too clunky. If you look at the mana base, this deck is very much a black-blue deck that's splashing, or a black-white deck that's splashing Chromium. So if you add too many black cards, the mana becomes a lot less consistent. Which is not ideal. There's a lot of different small iterations of the mono blue tempo deck. I'd encourage you to look at what different people have been playing with it, like at the Pro Tour and stuff like that. Been a lot of good players that have played the mono blue deck. That's true. That's true. We were less punished by my mistake because they did have a discard spell. Might be a little far behind this game. We're gonna ditch this with Radical Idea, I think. Try and work our way towards a binding as quickly as possible. This deck is incredibly bad against Thief of Sanity. No, we've played a little bit of blue-white mill, but it didn't seem very good. Have not played blue-green mill. Oh, geez, that gets our Chromium. That's terrifying. And there's 2 Chromiums in my bin, so I can't just pick up the one with Memorial. Alrighty. I'm gonna go ahead and do this now, because if I draw a land, I want to play it, because I'm gonna have to discard my card next turn. Ah, what a tilt. It's right to play the Radical Idea there, but it still feels bad. It is correct to play the Radical Idea there, but it still doesn't feel good. Oh, I can grab the one he targets in response. That's a good idea. Right, that's how Magic works. There's responses and stuff. Thank you for the bits, Coons. I think I'm just gonna keep cycling through here. Getting this going is the way we're gonna win this game. Oh, does it not show you? I don't think it shows me. Awkward. Okay, they keep highlighting this first one. I'm gonna do that and hope for the best. Ha-ha! Victory! Oh no! We're dead to nickel. The last word for it. Yeah, there definitely needs to be a clear indicator. I agree that I should have this Chemister's Insight in my deck. Someone else mentioned that a second ago. I wonder if 4 Adanto is too many. It might make my spell density too low. Maybe I want 3 Adanto and I want to put a 3rd Disdainful Stroke back in. Stroke's like really, really good against Nicol Bolas. So Adanto is good because the opponent's going to board out all their removal, and then we can pressure them by just attacking them early. So it allows us to get some free wins. So I think I want some Adanto because that's a sweet extra angle of attack in these control matchups that can be hard for this deck. But I think 4 of them might be too many. I definitely like some. Like this, Adanto's gonna be very good here, right? Just like turn to Adanto on the play might win this game on its own. Sure, but like, if they're keeping their Bolas back to block Adanto, that's a win for us. Sure, but we're boarding this card in, assuming our opponent is boarding out cards like that. Because if they leave in cards like that, that's a win for us. It means that they have cards in their deck that are very bad in the matchup, except exactly against the Adanto, which honestly is probably another reason to play less than 4. We want to play just enough to punish them if they don't have removal, but not so many that they get rewarded if they do have it. Sure, we're not playing Adanto in our main deck. We're playing them in the sideboard. So again, the idea is that the opponents will board out cards like that because they're not good against our main game plan. Yes, when you're sideboarding, you want to sideboard for the deck you're going to be playing against, not the deck you just played against. And that's something that gets missed and a lot of people that are newer, especially to sideboarding in general, is those are different things. So the deck you play against game 1 can often be different than the deck you're playing against games 2 and games 3. And that's where kind of leveling comes in, right? Like level 1 is my opponent cuts the cards. Level 2 is my opponent cuts the... I know they should cut the cards, so I'm bringing in this, so they know I'm bringing in this, so they don't actually cut the cards. So look at the mana base in this deck. If you look at the mana base in this deck, Thief of Sanity is very difficult to cast. This card's also more resilient to removal, but Thief of Sanity is just tough to cast. We are a blue-white deck with a small black splash. Feels bad, man. We were one card. You were one card late, Negate. Are you about to get beat by our own Adanto Vanguard? I think we're about to get beat by our own... Oh, I can pick it up, right? I can pick it up. We can pick it up again. That's fine. All right, we did it, Reddit. Gross. I think we're in trouble. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna split the difference. I'm gonna go two Adanto. I think I want enough to punish people, but not so many that we clump up on them. That game really made me miss my Disdainful Stroke, so I'm gonna put those back in. Stroke is very good against Grixis. Actually, I haven't been on Reddit in a while. I've been avoiding it. Seems like I felt like because I was reintroducing YouTube comments into my life that I needed to remove obnoxiousness from another area. Yeah, I think I want 7 counterspells. I think the matches where my gain life cards aren't good, the counterspells are very good. Which, that's a reminder for everybody, if you haven't watched my stuff in a while, I'm testing out re-enabling comments on my YouTube channel. So if you're watching this on YouTube now, smash that like button and leave a comment below. Did I do that right? That's how the other YouTubers do it, right? I think I did it correctly. Let me know if I messed that up. But basically, the data that I've seen says that YouTube's algorithms are more likely to recommend your content to people if you have comments enabled and are getting comments. So I have enabled comments for the sake of seeing if the algorithm then favors my video and my channel a little bit more. Yep. I get to stick, so this is a little annoying, but I get to stick Search for Azcanta next turn, which is nice. Like we play these just like mono control decks. That's just how the beats go sometimes, right? You like hope to queue into aggro and mid-range, you just play against mono control. This is sweet. I get to stick Primal Amulet this next turn, and then Primal Amulet could very easily allow me to run away with this game. Grixis or blue-black shouldn't have a way to take this off the table. What's going on? Did notice me, YouTube? I have been responding. I have read every comment on my YouTube channel I am reading. Blood Operative one time. Oh, geez. I forgot about Blood Operative. That would be really bad for me. Jeskai doesn't beat Dredge. Jeskai gets dumpstered by Dredge. I just want all of... Oh, I guess if I would have done that, it would have flipped my thing. I just want a cantrip here. Just cantrips on cantrips on cantrips. No, even with Terminus, Blue-White has a really bad Dredge matchup. They just kill you with Creeping Chill and, they just kill you with Creeping Chill and other stuff. Whatever that other card's called, Creeping Chill and Conflagrate. No, I think you should never metagame in Modern. I think if you like the deck, you should play it. There's never a lot of anything in Modern. Yeah, let's just pass the turn here. I can Primal Wellspring, copy my Radical ID at end of turn here, which is great. Trying to dodge a Field of Ruin here. Draw me 2 cards in response to this information campaign, and then Primal Wellspring plus Search for Azcanta here might let me just run them into the ground here, especially if I can find a Nexus of Fate. Like my Search for Azcanta's flipping next turn, so if I draw a Nexus of Fate, I can actually double it, which would be good. I think I'm obligated to keep that. I need to be able to get my Chromium back here soon. I have no ideas in. I don't know, it's not my job to balance games. I just know when I'm playing something and it feels real bad. So I can Primal Wellspring the Ritual of Rejuvenation and still activate Azcanta this turn, which is great. This deck is a lot of fun. This deck is a lot of fun. We haven't even been winning matches. I've just been like enjoying the games that we're playing, which is like the #1 sign of a sweet deck in my opinion. Just like you can lose and still have a good time with it. Drawing cards is sweet. Sure. Hey, thanks for the $2 tip, Boy Toy. I appreciate it. Thanks for the advice. Thanks for the tip. Yeah, 23 lands is fine. Our entire deck is cards that draw cards. So remember, we're gonna see a lot more copies of everything because we see a lot of our deck, is basically what it comes down to. So I'm gonna activate this in, no, I'm actually not. Radical Idea could just go away. I like how it just didn't leave our hand, it just started smoking. Alrighty. I would like to take 2 more turns, please. Are you ready for the Thunderdome? So now we're looking to dig to another Nexus of Fate so we can start chaining Nexus of Fates here. So I have another turn after this, so I get to double Discovery. And I'm just gonna dig as aggressively as possible here. I just want to dig deep. I can activate Azcanta this turn as well. There's a Nexus of Fate. So I get to go ahead and do this, and then we start our next turn, and our next turn we're gonna take 2 more turns. Bye, friend. They've seen enough. They've seen enough. Ooh, alrighty, well, I wasn't gonna do a shill segment during the sponsored segment, but Arena has taken a quick nap, so we're gonna go ahead and restart that really quick. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. I appreciate it. Happy Tuesday, wherever you're at in the world. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff. Thanks for supporting my stuff here. My name's Jeff Hoagland. I stream full-time here on Twitch. I play a ton of Magic. We play Standard here in Arena. We play some Modern on Magic Online. I've also been dipping my toe into Artifact a little bit. If you enjoy my stuff, please make sure you follow the channel. It doesn't cost you anything. It lets you know when I go live and with what. Also, be sure to check out my website and my YouTube channel for backfills of my content if you missed anything live. Let's head back on into the sideboarding segment here. So, Strokes, Negates, Nexus, Chromium, Ixalan's Binding, Adanto Vanguard. We get to cut all of these cards that kill creatures and gain health. Seems good for us. I'm gonna trim these discoveries. Do that? Let's do that. Refreshing your browser page should reset if the overlay is bugged for you. And again, just like lands and spells you keep because the deck is full of cantrips, you might as well just like, you know, this opt could be anything. Game 1, we have 1 Chromium as our only win condition. That is correct. You have 2 Memorials to Follies to pick him back up with eventually. But honestly, your opponent's portrait just exploding is usually your win condition. By the time you take your like 5th turn, your opponent's just like, all right, I've had enough of this. Yeah, there's a lot of decks in this format. They're just like, well, the only direction this deck can go is up from here, right? Interesting that they just don't care about this Disdainful Stroke. That's why they don't care about the Disdainful Stroke, yep. Maybe I just want 4 Ixalan's Binding in my sideboard. It's very possible that that's the case. Just like this is better than the 1 Spyglass that I have. It's nice that Spyglass can stop Field of Ruin, but like, killing Thief of Sanity is really important. Loved never having to attack. We called it the Steve Con. That's great. All right, no counter magic. 1 time. Great. Take 2. So, you don't need removal spells in this deck. It's literally just Thief of Sanity that beats you because your other cards gain you health and prevent them from killing you by gaining you health. You don't care about things that aren't exactly Thief of Sanity. I think boarding cards for just Thief of Sanity is nonsense. Like, I get that we've had the feel bad of playing against 3 Thief of Sanity decks in a row, but the format isn't all Thief of Sanity decks. In fact, if you look at the Grand Prix results, there's almost no Thief of Sanities in this format. So I think a more reasonable reaction to trying to beat Thief of Sanity is going, say, hey, let's put more Ixalan's Binding in because this card is flexible, rather than like starting to play like these incredibly awkward and narrow cards just for Thief of Sanity that a lot of people aren't playing. And I get that it feels bad, but just because it feels bad doesn't mean you should. You need to make drastic changes. So, for people that you did miss it earlier, this deck doesn't have a lot of black mana in it, so Thief of Sanity is not a card we can cast consistently. This segment is sponsored by Wizards of the Coast through the Twitch bounty board. So shout outs to the Twitch bounty board and WotC. Thoughts on splashing red so we can bring in Shock for Thief of Sanity? Lol. I don't think I want to bind the campaign. It's possible that I want to bind the campaign. We really need to hit a critical mass of cantrips here. So we want to hit cantrips into cantrips so we can flip this Primal Amulet over here and then go through. We're actually kind of getting punished for how we've sideboarded, right? Like, all these cards would be cantrips had we been pre-board. So, like, we would have flipped this amulet over if this would have been a game 1 game. Yep. This is the 3rd time we've done a bounty board stream. So for those of you that aren't familiar, Twitch basically has a bulletin board where they post a list of games that publishers have put up, and like, that's where the Wednesdays thing came from too. So like, companies can say, hey, we'll pay you this money to do a sponsored segment if you have this amount of viewers. So this is not a sponsored stream segment because Wizards of the Coast was like, hey Jeff, we like you, we want to sponsor your stream. This is actually about the viewer count we usually have when we play Arena. The viewer count when we play Modern is very, very low. Wow, okay. Yeah, blue, black, and tempo decks are the decks that this is bad against. This deck really wants to play against things like green, black, and white aggro and red aggro, stuff like that. Decks that aren't full of counterspells. It feels bad to put ourselves down to 5 lands with Chromium in hand, but we can't let them have a Chromium. I agree. Arena is just better than Magic Online in basically every way. The only thing it lacks is some of the formats that Magic Online provides. If I could play Modern on Magic Arena, I would never load Magic Online again. This is so unfortunate. I know we boarded out some cantrips, but just like not finding any here. At least they can't really take Primal Amulet off the table, so we've got that going for us. They played a Field of Ruin there, which means that we're going to be able to kill our amulet. All right, I'm going to cut these Adantos from my board again. I think they're too cute. We actually played against a bunch of matchups where like, I thought I might want Adanto, and they were just bad in pretty much all of them. So I'd like to go up, X up. That is not what I wanted to do. I wanted to add more. My own Eldest? Yeah, that's probably fine. Eldest is a card that, like, kills Teferi, and it's another way to kill Thief of Sanity. Yeah, that's probably an okay idea, actually. I like that suggestion. Can you clarify what Modern versus Standard is? So, Magic has 25 years worth of cards in it. So there are a lot of different what are called constructed formats. If you're familiar with Hearthstone, think of Modern as Magic's version of Wild. So Modern is a constructed format that doesn't rotate ever and consists of like 17 years worth of Magic cards. It's a very, very large, deep card pool. Now, I think Scatter's not very good. The games where I want access to Essence Scatter, I'd rather just, like, have my game 1 plan. All right, I'm going to keep this in the draw with the Scry. If you do a Google search, people asking about formats for Magic, there are a bunch of really great posts that detail all the different formats of Magic and what they offer. Sweet, an aggro deck. This is what we wanted. This is what we wanted for Christmas, chat. Even got a Cleansing Nova in our opener. God bless. How do you think they're going to handle sets rotate every year? They're gonna add a new format. Magic's gonna have a new format very soon. Yes, the queue is still in slow mode, as it says in the stream title. The queue won't go out of slow mode until each format. I'll unslow the formats individually. Once we get under 20 standard decks, I'll unslow standard. And once we get under 20 modern decks, I'll unslow modern. Although I also kind of need to figure out how I'm going to handle... I might need to keep the standard queue slowed longer, because I probably want to not have a bunch of standard decks built up when... I probably want to not have a bunch of standard decks built up when a new set releases, right? This is Bounty Board sponsored. Yeah, my deck queue has like 90 decks in it. When I slow my queue, that's because it has 90 decks in it, 90. So there's currently like 80 decks in my queue at the moment. But I slow it down so that way people aren't waiting as long. So if you want to learn about my deck queue and see it on my website, you can always view the deck queue live here. I update it at the end of every stream. Actually, I could just Amulet here, right? Because that lets me cast Cleansing Nova next turn. So the problem is I don't lock it fully, I just slow it down. If this is a Conclave Tribunal, we could be in trouble. So I know approximately how many decks I do in a week. The problem is there's also people still add decks while it's slowed, and the amount of decks that get added is variable week to week and month to month. Bye, friends. Sure. LSV's build with the Leonin Vanguards wasn't playing Heroic Reinforcements, I don't believe. No, Modern's obnoxious and degenerate, and has been obnoxious and degenerate for a very long time. So I probably want to flip this with Ritual of Rejuvenation still in my hand so I can gain 8. I wonder if they're going to concede to Ritual of Rejuvenation here. What if I gained 8? Just like casual gain at 3, casual gain 11, nice aggro deck. These are the decks we wanted to play against, chat. This deck's been generating fun games of Magic, and we've been playing its awful matchup so far. Hey, Deltharius, thank you for the brand new tier 2 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed here with that. You balance it with a ban list. So here's the thing. There's this idea that like ban lists are bad, and it's silly. They can't test for that many cards. So when combinations of cards come up that are issues, you ban some of them. It's not a big deal. Use the ban list. Hey, Drum Freak, thanks for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch. Thanks for supporting mine this month with that. What match is this? This is the 3rd or 4th match? Fourth. We played against blue-black decks 3 times. If I can find another Nexus of Fate, we can keep comboing, so I guess I want to do this. I keep big cards like Stone. Exactly. See, Klutz, you understand. Now, I think even if Modern is cheap, a lot of people still wouldn't like the gameplay it produces. There's a lot of really bad games of Magic in Modern. Alright, so pretty unlikely to find a Nexus of Fate this turn. We could try, though. Alright, so Nexus of Fate currently costs me 6. So I can actually activate Search for Azcanta and still cast Nexus this turn. So let's start by doing this. Perfect. Because Nexus cost me 1 less because of Primal Amulet. So now we get 2 more turns. And these Primal Amulets aren't legendary. So we get to flip this next Primal Amulet. So the next Nexus of Fate that we find is going to get us 3 turns. Possibly even 4 with this other Primal Amulet that I have in my hand. You usually don't have to show them a win condition with this deck because the opponent gets bored and concedes. I realize that Chromium could let us start winning the game, but we're not really at the winning the game portion of the game yet. We're still very much in the getting set up portion. Transform. So I have 1 more turn after this here still. And eventually this deck gets to a point where the only cards in our deck are Nexus of Fate. Activate Azcanta. Discovery, okay. So Discovery lets me dig real deep. We're getting dangerously close to the opponent's portrait exploding at this point. Oh, look at that, a Nexus of Fate. And that Nexus of Fate is gonna get copied 3 times next turn. So this Nexus of Fate is going to, is gonna get cast 4 times. Of course, transform. Why wouldn't I want to transform it? Come on now, Moto. Whatever application you are. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Cast my playsets of Nexus of Fate. Quad cast a spell. Thank you, Keith. Was that good for you, Chad? It was good for me. It was good for me. So we've been sideboarding a lot against these mid-range and control decks. So this is a different sideboarding process when we're playing against an aggro deck. You click done. All right, do I need to do that again? Did you figure it out? Was that too quickly? You click done. You click done? All right, thumbs up. We're gonna play a few more matches with this deck today. If you want to see more of this deck after we're done with it live today, you can check out my website as well. Click standard decks. It's Esper Amulet on there. Decks the total gas. You clicked done, so I clicked done. Happy to. Thank you, Travic. I appreciate that. Thanks for the 2 months of support. Yeah, seems fine. I need some white mana, but like we've got ops to find white mana here, hopefully. Today I learned concession beats Esper Amulet. Yes, you did. It's a very valuable lesson. Don't you forget it. Can you believe that they printed Nexus of Fate thinking it wasn't a constructed playable card? Like, good lord. They made it an instant and they made it shuffle in. Like, holy gosh. Just like, all right. We might die before we get to 5. We might die before, so we're digging. At this point, we need to just stay alive as best as possible. So we're looking for our cards that let us gain health and draw cards. We are an official shill. This stream is sponsored by Wizards of the Coast and the Twitch Bounty Board. Mr. Hat, thanks for doling out that very generous sub gift. I appreciate that. I guess Settle the Wreckage is also good here. So we've got 10 cards in my deck that I'm looking to draw at this point. That's terrifying. So I don't play the constructed event for 2 reasons. The first is that I have a pretty full collection on Arena because I use my credit card to buy a bunch of cards. So I don't really care about earning prizes while I play. And the second is that a lot of these decks that I play our viewers submitted deck lists. So playing on the ladder gives me the flexibility to edit and change the decks in between the games that I'm playing. So that way, if a deck is submitted and it's kind of in rough shape, I can make it better in between matches. So we don't just like play a deck and just get beat up for a bunch. People asking about Teferi, look at this board. This isn't a fog deck. This is a deck that's like trying to stay alive by casting cards that gain us health, which means that Teferi's not very good because we can't protect it. So next turn we're dead. We might survive by faking Settle. Oh, that's true. Conceding there might make my opponent play into a Settle in this third game, though. You're right, I probably should have passed and bluffed to see if they played around a Settle, and then I got them with the game 4. Sand sounds great. Again, just keep hands with lands and castable spells, because your cards all draw cards, so they're going to draw more things. Yes, yeah, it is the perfect, it really is the perfect fake Settle deck is a great way to put it. His hand could be anything. It starts at 23 and the rest of these cards could be literally anything. If you're using a Linux system, it installs by default to your .wine directory, the hidden directory in your home folder. If you're installing on OS X, you need to find out wherever wine installs wine directories to by default. Wow, we're over 1,600. That's awesome. Thanks for hanging out today while we play sweet decks, folks. Now, I think it's fine to revitalize early and often. It brings in people. We actually often have this many people for Arena. Do you have Artifact scheduled? I do have Artifact scheduled for later today. We'll be doing Artifact about 5 o'clock this evening. It's on my schedule on my website too, Brightstar. I'm doing my best to stay organized with all that. So I'm actually going to keep a white source here because I need a second white source to cast Settle and Cleansing Nova. Awkward. Punished. Deal. And do you have any tutorial on Artifact? This one here is the best one that I've liked. So you can see me playing through Artifact's default tutorial, but there's a lot of great ones by Kriparian and a lot of other content producers that have made good tutorials for Artifact. Yep. You can find Artifact on my website here. All the stuff I've played there. So I'm actually going to go ahead and anticipate now, because if I find a Cleansing Nova, I can cast it because of Primal Amulet. Woof. I'm not dead on board, right? They're only attacking for 9. Hey, Gray Star, thanks for continuing your sub gift. I appreciate the support. Welcome back. We are dead to Marshall. Yeah, we can opt for Settle. Man, we're flooded. Great, one more look. Can hit Revitalize. Need to dodge this for a turn. So Revitalize would let us gain 6 here and draw 2. Dead. Awkward. Alright, let's jam one more with the Amulet deck. Maybe two. We only haven't played it for an hour, and this deck's a hoot. Like I said, the games you win with this deck are enough fun that I really don't mind the ones that I lose. Do we need Mirari's Conjecture? What problem are you solving by adding Mirari's Conjecture to the deck? There's also an argument for saving my Revitalize till later, because if I would have saved the Revitalize till later, I could have doubled it, and doubling Revitalize there would have been enough to save me. This deck can't cast Golden Demise. You need to look at the mana base. This is a blue-white deck with a small black splash. So the amount of black sources you need to consistently cast a black spell on 3 is much more than this deck has. No, I really like Radical Idea. I think Radical Idea is one of the ways you consistently flip Amulet in this deck. I could see Blink being okay in this deck because I agree that it could solve some problems, but I think cutting Radical Idea for Blink is a bad swap. It's like another Thief of Sanity deck. Mission Briefing's just too expensive. Just much too much mana. No, I think the game you just saw there is pretty statistically unlikely to happen. We like have 4 sweepers in our deck and like got through over a third of our deck with 0 sweepers. Like sometimes that's gonna happen. It's gonna feel bad when it happens, but you shouldn't. If you change your Magic deck every time you get unlucky, you're literally just always going to be changing your deck. Look, it's like drawing a card. So if I bid enough cards here, I can actually flip Azcanta next turn, which is great. Amulet's fantastic. And then there's 6 cards in the bin, so I will probably cast this Revitalize at end of turn to go ahead and get the 7th in there. No, so Dream Eater doesn't, not only does it not trigger Amulet, but it also, what's the word I'm searching for? It also doesn't, my mouth is mush. It also turns on removal that the opponent's spells had. So like one of the things you gain in this deck is virtual card advantage by blanking cards like that out of the opponent. All right, so if we hit another white source, we can get rid of this Nicol Bolas. Yep. Yeah, and the Chromium's like the best card to like eventually win the game with. And Chromium's nice because we can pick him back up with Memorial to Folly should he like die or get discarded. Yeah, I like how like we'd played a bunch of green-black and then like we started playing this deck that has a really bad blue-black matchup, and we've played like 4 out of 5 blue-black matchups. I'm looking for a white source, right? Basically, because I would like to find a way to settle this. All right. Okay. I think I'm actually just activating this here so I can try and find more cantrips to like start looping through my deck a little bit more. Sign me up for Radical Idea. Amulet is going to be a white source. You're not wrong. And the Amulet being a white source actually lets us kill this through a counterspell, right? So it's like not nothing. The people who keep suggesting more sweepers for this deck, I really think you just need to play more games and log more games with it. I would encourage you to watch the rest of the matches that we've played so far. We've played against a very narrow subset of decks today. Catching right at the tail end of the sponsored segment here. I figure I'll just run it through the end of the Esper Amulet deck. Like, another Cleansing Nova or another Settle might be fine. I've been to the Settle over the Amulet because multiple Amulets in play stacks up and is valuable. I figured I'd continue supporting since I've been following since March 2015 with the Blue-Red Dragons deck. Yep. I almost top 8 at the Invitational I played that deck at. If I would have played slightly better in Legacy, I would have. Oh, they get to flip Nick. Oh, and they have my Chromium.
There are none
Uh-oh.
greater than I.
Uh-oh. It's fine. Cleansing Nova kills the Chromium, right? It's fine. Cleansing Nova kills the Chromium. It's fine, chat. We're fine. We're fine. Calm down. I think we're actually ahead at the moment. I have not played with Path of Discovery on Arena yet, for Standard. Give him back. He's mine.
I know what must be done.
Hasu, I'm timing you out for bad information. Please don't spread nonsense. Kill it with fire twice. I agree, Extra. If your auto tapper's off, you don't deserve to play with the rest of us who are decent human beings. Thank you for the great stream and the low-key tech support. Put the bits towards dealer choice. Will do, Rymex. I appreciate it. This is gonna be a sabotage here? Sure. You've denied me my third amulet. Got me. Chromium doesn't get indestructible. You should read Chromium. He gains hexproof and a couple other things, but indestructible is not on the list. I'm actually okay with both of those on top of my deck. So we'll Revitalize here, which will then flip Primal Amulet. And then I can double opt next turn. I'll just double opt now, actually, because I'm gonna have to discard a card to this Eldest Reborn here in a second. Sure, Chromium's weak against Eldest Reborn, but when you win the game with this deck, you take infinite turns. So like, they just don't have a chance to play Eldest Reborn because you're taking infinite turns. Sure, they get Chromium again, but when I win, I'm gonna get infinite turns. So I will draw my other, what's it called? My other Cleansing Nova and get it back. And then I'll pick him back up with the Memorial of Folly. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Awkward. Well, I had intended to stop during my upkeep, but there's a little bit of lag there. We're fine. We're still ahead. I would like the record to reflect that we are still ahead. They get to do a thing, that's fine. I could, this isn't optional, right? Whenever I play cats, you draw a card. I could deck them. I don't even need a Chromium anymore, chat. They play Div Visit. I don't even need. Who wants to win by decking them? Does anybody want to win by decking them? I kind of want to win by decking them. Yeah, I'm gonna triple rejuvenation here. I'm gonna trips rejuvenation here. 10 out of 10 win by decking. Thank you, Bright Star. All right, so make white, rejuvenation. Why are we playing when there are 38 cards in their deck, chat? Do you think we could do it? I think we could gain 38. I'm pretty confident with the dubs out here we could gain 38. Yeah, we're starting from 26, like... I could also just, like, get Chromium back. So, like, I could win this game by getting Chromium, but decking them is sweeter, right? Is there anybody in chat who wants to not deck them? I feel like their opinions probably don't count anyways. Deck them, God bless. All right, glad we understand. Deck them for sure. What's going on, Wilson? But you have diff visit. How can you lose the game, opponent? You have diff visit. They understood where we were going, chat. They understood what was happening. Sponsored stream hype. What's going on, Gator? They understood what was going on. Silly opponent. They knew better. All right, need one more card to cut here. They took away our fun, chat. They took away our fun. Esper Bill, right? Why do you hate fun, opponent? Why must you hate fun? We're playing the superior dragon, and that's why we won. Exactly. They were watching and knew the jig was up. We're bored in those big mean thief of sanities that make us sad. Change frightens me. I'm streaming from the same place. I have my studio lights off. I had my studio lights off last night. My eyes were feeling a little bit irritated, and I think the bright from my studio lights might be a part of why. So I'm just having them off so I can work, but like give my eyes a little bit of a break. Amulet's a great draw here. Wear sunglasses. Is Quad Nexus on par with Floop the Pig? Basically. They're essentially the same thing. Just looking for lands at this point, right? Yeah, I'm okay with both of those. This matchup is where we board them in. We board them in against control decks. Yeah, blue light glasses aren't a bad idea. I need to look into those. Thought they had activated my trap card. I got excited. It's a sweet one to draw. You're definitely just in for another land at this point. I love that it feels like drawing two cards when you surveil a jumpstart card into the bin. Not only will it help your eyes, but you will get more viewers. I mean, that's reason alone, right? We're just trying to up the stream quality here. Well, lands are not a problem anymore. I have close to 20/20 vision. I actually just went and had an eye exam, and they told me that my vision was my vision was so good it was unfair. And I was like, well, that sounds like a good problem to have. All right. So because Primal Amulet or Nexus of Fate is an instant for some unforsaken reason, we actually, one of the ways we beat these control decks is end step Nexus of Fate into untap, take 2 turns. I'm kind of looking for a negate here, right? You click the slider in the upper right-hand corner. If I send you, yeah, anything you send to my P.O. box, so long as there is money included with it to get it back to you, or you send a donation so I can pay to mail it back to you. So long as it doesn't cost me money to send stuff back to you, send whatever you want to my P.O. box to get signed. The internet's gonna abuse that, isn't they? I just said send whatever you want to my P.O. box. That's probably not gonna end well. Oh no! Oh no! They exiled my Nexus of Fate! Chat, I wasn't prepared for them to have a syncopate. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I did board in a third Nexus, though. We did board in a third Nexus. We're fine. We're fine. We boarded in a third one. It's gonna be okay. No, we boarded in the third, Coons. It's a control mirror. Niv Mizzet. This one worked out really well for you last time, opponent. This one worked out really well for you last time. I'm impressed that you're playing it again. In fact, this was my win condition last game, was your Niv Mizzet. This Eldest Reborn is looking aces here, though. We get to a Primal Amulet into Eldest Reborn here. Solid turn 9. Goodbye, friend. Yes, we're gonna get Niv Mizzet back with Eldest Reborn on the back of this Nexus of Fate, and then we're gonna kill them with their Niv Mizzet. Love watching your time, Clint. Glad to have fun playing something you enjoy. It's made a great career for you. Thank you, Austin, for the support. I appreciate it. Thank you for letting me have this be my career. Are we done here? Why do we even have win conditions in our deck, chat? Their Niv Mizzet is just the best. It's the best win condition we could have ever wanted. That's all I ever wanted. Yeah, bye, friend. Bye, friend. All right, let's play another one with this deck. We've been going for an hour and a half, but I'm gonna do one more because this deck is a hoot. If you can't get enough of this deck and you want to watch more of it, be sure to check out my YouTube channel and my website, jeffhoagland.com. There are a ton of really awesome and fun standard decks up there. In addition to deck lists for those decks that you can easily import into Magic Arena, there's also playlists of YouTube videos of me playing those decks so you can get a feel for them and see what they do before you build them. Yes, we have actually hit the hour for the bounty board, so we're sweet and good. I think I'm just gonna leave the sponsor thing up through the end of this video, though. God, what is with all these blue-black decks? I guess we finally just beat one, but like, there are so many Grixis decks. I'm like, it's just this afternoon, right? Like, we played against a bunch of non-Grixis decks. We play both, Schuller, to answer your question. If you import a deck list but don't have the cards for it, it shows you off to the side which cards you don't have. Yeah, and as always, you can find the deck list on your screen via exclamation point or by typing exclamation point deck in chat. Just looking for an amulet. Nexus, sure. I thought the best of 3 isn't supposed to have deck strength matchmaking in it. I thought it was only the best of 1 ladder that's supposed to have deck strength matchmaking in it. Discovery sees a similar number of cards to Anticipate, but Discovery helps me flip my Azcanta sooner. I'm actually going to keep this, and I'm going to Discovery here and bin some cards most likely, and then next turn we'll flip our Search for Azcanta, and then we'll Cleansing Nova, kill their treasure maps. This is only at, they haven't activated either of these yet, right? Yeah, so these are both be it. This kills artifacts and enchantments. It's a modal card. No, it kills artifacts and enchantments. Yeah, card's great. No, I'm planning to play the Blue-Black Pirates deck at the Invitational. And that could just stay right there, right? Because like I'm gonna want something to kill Nicol Bolas here. Poor Dora no longer knows where she's going. Alternative casting cost Nova Wipe. Thank you, Coons. Trying to land here. Oh, I tapped my land's bad. Meh. Looking for amulets and lands at this point. I guess Chromium could potentially be okay here too. He's gonna like let us slam down an attack. They have a counterspell. This probably eats the counterspell out of their hand, which leaves us a window to okay, sure. If they have another Nicol Bolas here, it's a little bit scary because the Settle the Wreckage means they can flip it next turn potentially. They do not. God bless. Looking for a land. No, I could not. When you copy a spell, you copy all modes that spell has. This deck doesn't have enough black sources to consistently play at Mastermind's Acquisition. We've actually played builds of it before with Acquisition, and we ended up not liking it. So, I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Perfect. Oh, I could have left my lands differently so I could revitalize this turn. This probably isn't resolving, though. Maybe I should just jam Chromium anyways. Oh, goes Arena. Arena is great. What did I like about Acquisition? It's too clunky and slow. Like, this deck already has a lot of clunk in it because it's casting a lot of cantrips. Having, like, a 4-mana do-nothing is, like, extra bad. Yeah. You already see a lot of your deck every game, so, like, Acquisition just, like, doesn't fix problems that you have. And it's also incredibly difficult to cast if you look at our mana base. Well, I guess I'm just trying to block with Chromium. We could get double Moment of Craving here. Oh, I should have left white mana up for Revitalize. This is game 1. We've just played against Grixis 6 games in a row here. They all look the same, is an accurate descriptor. Yeah, we're too far behind at this point. Let's go to the post-board game here. We have better tools. If you're looking to just jump right into Constructed on Arena, about $100 gets you most constructed decks. Seems to be the magic number. All right. Yeah, if you're looking to build like a low budget deck, a deck that doesn't have a lot of rares, you can do it for much cheaper than that. But if you're looking to build like Drakes or Green Black or Just Guy, like $100 usually about does it. Sure, Healthy Froggy, but like that was their game 1. Blocking there is the only way to get the Niv off the table, so we kind of just have to like play our card and hope it works so we don't have any other lines. You're right, they have a bunch of cards that makes it go bad for us there, but one of the #1 things you need to learn when playing card games in general is don't play around things you can't beat. So if they have a thing and you could never beat it, don't bother playing around it because they're gonna have it and they're gonna kill you later with it. Actually gonna hold up Negate here. Well, am I? No, I'm gonna go ahead and Discovery actually, because if they Negate and Thought Erasure, I don't have anything in my hand worth taking. I've been both of these looking for white mana and amulets. This is game 2. I don't think we really care about Treasure Map. We go longer, much better than that card does. Yeah, the big thing I had to get over when I was playing Arena is I needed to stop thinking about it as I'm buying booster packs, and then when I started thinking about it as I'm just buying wild cards, it's like, oh, this is just makes a lot more sense. You're like buying wild cards and getting bonus random cards on top of it. Wine staging is Wine Devil, so Wine 3.17 or 3.18. They might be on 3.19 now. How crucial do you think are misbuying clicks for the Blackberries deck? Very important. It's a big part of why that archetype is good, I think. Misbuying click lets you kill people very quickly and efficiently. That deck's not a very good Snapcaster deck. The control decks that don't have Lightning Bolt in Modern are not 4x Snapcaster Mage decks. There's just too many times where the Snapcaster Mage is basically a dead draw. Sure. Sure. They're kind of tapped down here. Now, I'm not going to jam an Amulet if I find it, so I'll just wait to anticipate on their turn. I guess if I find a search for Azcanta, I'll play it here. All right, hopped. All right, go ahead. Yes. Yep. X spells include the X in their converted mana cost while they are on the stack. They're one of the only instances of a card's converted mana cost not being the number printed in the corner. I'm gonna bottom that. Binding's not bad. Probably hit Blood Operative with that next turn. I don't just want to jam it now because I'm going to leave the stroke and negate up here, I think. Also, like, if my opponent rips something like a Niv Mizzet, I'd much rather binding that than binding a Blood Operative, obviously. Can Radical Idea ditch this island at the end of their turn if they don't give us a reason to play 2 counterspells? Stroke it, baby. Yes, next rotation, everything except guilds that's legal now is going to go away. We only have 5 sets in here, and next October, 4 sets rotate out. So I'm gonna go ahead and try and end step Nexus of Fate. We don't really have anything going on, but like taking 2 turns sounds appealing. It also like baits a counterspell out of their hand if they have it, most likely. I'm a little bit sad if we get syncopated, but any counterspell other than syncopate I'm pretty okay with here. Magic releases 4 sets per year. So Magic standard format for those that are new goes between 5 sets being legal and 8 sets being legal. I'd imagine we're going to see an announcement about a new format before next fall. Because I expect it to be live by next October when things rotate on Arena. It's funny that they were doing it there. They must have forgot that I had another turn coming. Yeah, I do too. Honestly, the more I think about it, the more I hope the new format just starts at Ixalan. Ixalan is so good. This current standard format is so good. Hider, you don't have to unlock anything. There's just a slider in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. You just click it, and it enables all game modes. Do you have another counterspell? You don't. Perfect. Getting to bind Thief of Sanity feels real good. Just like no more of those for you, thanks. So, like, we're not doing anything at the moment, but, like, our opponent, like, also isn't doing anything. So we're kind of in an okay spot here. They keep looking at our discard pile. Do they have another Blood Operative? They can't play that if they do. Hopefully when they eventually do draw a threat, it's something we can Disdainful Stroke and not Niv. Sure. So I can discard this Radical Idea, and then we'll end step Nexus of Fate again here, I think. Actually, do I want to just end step Chromium and just like try and attack them 4 times? Nah. Durdle. I'm here to Durdle. You here to Durdle, chat? I'm here to Durdle. Rude. So they're gonna get Nick back here. I think we're dead. I think we're dead, chat. So like, I only have 8 mana, so I can't Nexus plus Search. I can't Nexus plus Radical Idea. I guess I could draw away. I could draw an Excellent Binding to take this off the table. Alright. Alright. Okay. Alright, you're cooking with gas. Huh. I could just Dispersal the Eldest Reborn. I'm just gonna Dispersal the Eldest Reborn. Because, like, I just need to buy time here, right? Because, like, I have Search for Azcanta going now. So, like, buying time seems fine. So I'll discard this island to the Eldest Reborn here. It's been a good game. Sure. So looking for an Ixalan's Binding here, or an Nexus of Fate. Sweet, I can cast this and still trigger Azcanta, which is just incredibly good. Yeah, I'll take that. Perfect. Let's do the time warp again. Do 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 do. Perfect. All right. This was quite the comeback. This was quite the comeback. Are we done here? This is my favorite part. My favorite part is when they're dead but not conceding. And now this is gonna flip one of my Primal Amulets. Oh, look at that. Is this a concession nexus? This feels like a concession nexus, right? Hey, Jay Liskally. Woo! All right, thank you for the brand new Prime Shred. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for shipping your Bezo bucks this way this month. Thanks everyone for hanging out. Let's head into another match here, another game here. Try and win this match. I'm gonna leave all the Discovery Dispersals in. The Dispersal half is actually like super relevant. That was just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. Now this is pod racing, right? And remember, if you're watching this on YouTube in the future, or if you're joining us now and haven't caught everything, we play this deck for almost 2 hours, it'll go up on my YouTube channel later tonight. I have enabled comments on my YouTube videos again, so like the video and leave a comment. Trying to see if that helps grow the channel if we enable comments. If you lose both Chromiums, we have 2 copies of Memorial to Folly. We have 2 copies of Memorial to Folly in our deck. Your opponent, the light drain, the win condition of this deck is the light draining out of your opponent's eyes when they realize what's happening. And really, if you haven't played Magic where that's your win condition yet, there's no greater feeling. Okay, there's a Fast Thief. Fast Thief is scary. I do have double binding here though, so hopefully we can survive. They are gonna get a lot of chances to draw a counterspell though. They have counterspells in their deck and they're gonna hit us and have a chance to draw a counterspell. This is really good for us actually, because it means that they don't have untapped blue source. They won't have a counterspell up this turn and we have double binding. So hopefully we get to bind this guy on up. Free Stoneforge Mystic, Magic Sausage Cat. Thank you for the 5-month resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Uh-oh. All right. Do you have it? If they have it, I'm going to concede because we're dead. But if they don't have it, we can continue playing. Ah! Thief of Sanity! This deck's a hoot. I hope you had a good time. I'm going to run to the restroom really quick, and we're going to be all done playing this Esper deck. But don't go anywhere. We've got, what's the last one for today? We've got, we're going to play Thousand Year Storm next, actually. We're going to play Thousand Year Storm next, actually. So we've got another fun one. If you're looking for more on this deck, you can find it on my website and my YouTube channel. Tons of videos up there. I think this is the 3rd or 4th time we played it. But I'm going to run to the bathroom. Don't go anywhere. We're going to play Thousand Year Storm before I call it a day. Where's that one? Where's that one? This one?